everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Points of Articulation. My name's Dave, and today we're looking at the Hot Wheels Star Wars Imperial AT Hauler. Now, this ship will make its on-screen debut in Solo: A Star Wars Story, and for its length, it's 1.5 inches long, and for its height, it's 2.5 inches, which is very nice. So as of filming this, Solo comes out in a month, and not too much is known about the vessels. All we basically do know is it is an Imperial vessel. It does have moving parts. These two wings do come down. And as the name implies, it is a hauler. So the question is, what does it haul? Could be cargo, or as the name implies, it could carry armored transports, such as AT-STs or the new walker we saw in the trailer. So let the speculation begin. But on the whole, I think it is a very interesting design, and I do think it has a lot going for it. So we do have a lot to cover. We're going to look at the beautiful mold, the paint, put it on a stand, compare it, and then we'll be done. So let's get moving. Alright, let's kick this review off looking at the mold, and I must say this is a very unique vessel. To me, it screams expanded universe with the jagged wing tips and a very nice angular main body. I don't know, what do you guys think? But anywho, let's go over the main points of the ship, and then we'll get zoomed in for all that detail. So on the front, we have our main command section, and then on the sides, we have blaster cannons, so that's awesome. Coming back, we have the main body of the ship, and that's pretty awesome. On the bottom, we have our cargo crates, or, basically question mark, whatever it's carrying. In the trailer, this is all open, and what's left is little stanchions, which I guess hold this in place. But it's pretty interesting. It's a mystery for now anyway. And then we have our wings. And they are very nice. We have some negative space there. You can see my finger through it. So that's pretty cool. And they do move. So how neat is that? I like that look quite a bit. And then on the bottom, we have 2 rivets and a stand connector port. So pretty sick. So let's get up close and personal with this bad boy. Alright, having a closer look, let's begin looking at the base section of the wing, and we can see landing gear here, which are done pretty well. We have this nice round section. There's a negative space. See my finger right through it, and look at all that detail hidden by the paint, but it's there. And then we have our plastic. This is die cast, by the way, and then we move on to plastic. Some nice paneling. And I love this jagged edge. I can't wait to see what this does in the film. But that's pretty sharp. And the other side is the same. Not really any differences. For the interior, let's try this. We have our rivet holding it together. Some detail down there, which is pretty cool. And the interior of the wing. Very nice. And there is also a rivet on this side. And these joints are very tight, which is good. So when you move them, it's not going to come loose on you. So for the front of the vessel, we have our cockpit, command section, blaster cannons right here, which are nicely done. I like that a lot. And the front actually has a nice little, like a pipe section in there. It's pretty cool. Then we have some lines here with some little raised sections. What looks to be a vent or windows. For the top, let me fold these down. I'm getting in the way now. For the top, we have some nice sections right here. Very cool. And the tops of the wings, it's a little hard to see, but you can see some great stuff in here. Just hidden by that paint. And then the top, some nice designs. Pretty cool. Now for the back. Some great stuff here. I like this. We have a little paneling, stuff like that. And then we have the bottom of the ship, which should be the cargo crate or whatever's in here, walkers or whatever. Nicely done. Looking at it from this angle. Again, I'll move these up. Some great designs on here. And on the bottom, there is some detail on here, believe it or not. So that's pretty cool. And when you fold these wings up, the landing gear lands perfectly with this. So I'm wondering if it lands and then these doors open up or whatever and the fins come out. That would be awesome. But very nice ship. I will admit I do like this quite a bit. So that does it for the mold. I think it's a very nice looking ship. So now let's check out the paint. Alright, when it comes to the paint of the AT Hauler, we're looking at about 4 different colors here, and I think they did a decent job. First color up is a nice light gray, and that's for the main color of the ship and the winds. And I think that's awesome. Now the second color is a darker gray for this section here and in the front. So that's pretty cool to have a little contrast there. And now moving on to the other color, we have maroon for the wingtips and then coming down on the sides. And for the whole bottom of the vessel. So it's pretty interesting. And the final color is this copperish brown color right here. And I think that came out decent. The only problem is it just stops abruptly. They don't continue it into the top of the wing. So, I don't know. It is what it is. But that's basically it. I think the colors are nice and it's done pretty good. So now that we're done with the mold and the paint, let's put this bad boy in a stand, compare it to some other ships, and then we'll be done. And just like most Hot Wheels ships, comes with a cool stand. This one says Star Wars. Put it on like so, and you're good to go. Alright, for a little size comparison with the Imperial AT Hauler, I have it next to the Imperial AT-ST Walker, and then on the left I have the brand new Millennium Falcon from Solo: A Star Wars Story. Pretty interesting design, we'll look at that next week, but great ships all around. And that does it today for my review of the Hot Wheels Star Wars Imperial AT Hauler. This will first be seen in Solo: A Star Wars Story, and for its length, it's 1.5 inches long and 2.5 inches tall with those wings. And I have to say, I am very interested in this model. It just screams expanded universe to me, even though now it's canon. I love all the angles and shapes on this, even the jagged wings. And to be honest, I can't wait to see what its function is in the Solo film. Because if this basically flies around carrying cargo and AT units, that would be amazing to see this come out and down here drops like 5 AT-STs or that weird walker we saw in the trailer. That would be sick. But anywho, what's so great about this particular model? First of all, it has moving parts. The 2 wings can move independently and drop forward and up as we saw, and I like that. And also the detail is pretty good. We got some nice shapes on here, the guns, what looks to be little recesses, just fantastic stuff. For the paint, pretty nice. We got that light gray, the maroon, the copperish brown on the sides. I think they did a decent job. Again, you could always go with a little black wash, but it is what it is. I think it's nice. And you can't forget about that stand, which unifies it with the rest of the collection. And speaking about that stand, each stand usually has its faction symbol. This says Star Wars, not the Imperial symbol. So who knows what that means. Now, if you're looking to buy this bad boy, I would suggest checking your Walmarts and Targets. I got mine at Target for $4.99. But if you're hardcore into getting them, I would suggest checking those stores, maybe Barnes & Noble, eBay. I haven't seen any on Amazon yet, but sooner or later they will pop up. Remember, be patient and save yourself some money. So I recommend this ship for anybody who's a fan of the Empire. This is a nice ship. It's something we never saw before. And it does stand out in the collection. I know I say that a lot, but Hot Wheels keeps making different unique ships. And that's important. That means we're getting new stuff all the time, and I'm happy with that. And speaking of new stuff, Hot Wheels is coming out with all these new ships now. I saw pictures of a B-Wing and a whole concept line. So we're going to have a lot to talk about in the next couple of weeks. So that's everything I have to say about this vessel. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button. If you'd like to see new reviews every Thursday, subscribe. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.